Red Stripe Football Monday is coming tonight from the Stadium East Field, the home field of Cavalier Football Club, and they're up against another city giant in Arnett Gardens. Both former champions. Arnett Gardens, 5-time winners of the Premier League. Cavalier, they've been champions just once. Both of them sitting just outside a playoff spot and looking for 3 points tonight.
Now, a few days ago, you would have witnessed the heavyweight championship between Wilder and Fury. And though tonight is not a boxing matchup, two heavyweights face off as Arnett Gardens, the Junglists, visit Cavalier FC. My name is Shawana Ebanks, welcoming you to Red Stripe Monday Night Football action. Of course, I am with these two smashing gentlemen, Donald Oliver and Lance Whitaker. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
Where do we begin, Lance Whitaker?
Well, it's a tough match between two teams that have battled tremendously for decades in local football, both from Casapo, which is the Kingston and St. Andrew region, and also nationally. We had Cavalier playing undefeated against Arnett Gardens 5 times last year, but this year Arnett Gardens have beaten them both times they've played, so a lot to play for tonight.
That's right, Donald. A whole lot to play for. Your input on this?
You know, in the past, both these coaches or teams in particular would have complained about the league being too physical. So these two teams are exponents of the beautiful game, and we've seen some brilliant goals in this contest. Of course, the last time they met, some 6 goals were scored. So, you know, I expect something similar tonight.
All right, let's take a look at the goals that were scored on Sunday. Here are the results.
Yeah, good result here for Dunbeholden. 2 goals from Nicoy Christian in a 2-0 win over Harbour View. Portmore United losing their 4-game winning streak, losing to a Teddy Johnson strike to Tivoli Gardens. Humberland, 4 wins now from their last 5 matches, winning over Vere United. Mount Pleasant, 1-0 over Malines. We've got Mount Pleasant now with 4 wins in a row and looking to pressure Waterhouse at the top of the table. Of course, Waterhouse 3-1 over UWI in their Sunday fixture.
Yep, Shawana, Lance, and the top of the table is pretty tight at the moment. Waterhouse and Mount Pleasant, they're both on 53 points. Humberline a little way back in 3rd. Portmore United, Dunbeholden, and Tivoli Gardens complete the top 6. But you see that little group right after 6, 7, 8, 9? Arnett Gardens, Cavalier, of course, meeting tonight. Harbour View, there or thereabouts. All these teams are seeking to be in the top 6, and it's really going to be close.
Yeah, some problems for Vere United midweek because they have run into some problems here with using an ineligible player. In last week's Monday night fixture that we carried live. They used an ineligible player, Javier Brown, and this means that the 2-0 loss that they suffered to Harbour View remains a defeat, but they now suffer a 3-goal penalty for that, so it's a 3-0 margin of victory for Harbour View. So no change in the point standings, but the goal difference affected for Vere United, who are in real problems anyhow because they haven't won in their last 14 matches.
And we would think they would have learned a thing or two from Arnett Gardens, who had a similar situation a few weeks ago.
Yes, that's right.
All right, now let's take a look at the 4 last meetings between Arnett Gardens and Cavalier. In March 2019, Cavalier got the better of the Junglists 3-0. It was a 0-0 draw in April. Down in October, Arnett Gardens got the better of Cavalier 2-0. And in November 2019, in a 6-goal affair, Arnett Gardens defeated Cavalier 4-2. Now, Donald, what do Cavalier Football Club need to do tonight to get the win over Arnett Garden and to stop this three-peat that Arnett Garden is looking forward to?
Well, it's going to be a little bit difficult. You know that Nicholas Hamilton is gone, so too is Alex Marshall. So as usual, they're going to try and dominate the possession, and I think they'd have to score first. They have to put Arnett Gardens on the back foot, because if Arnett Gardens are in control of this one, well, it's going to be difficult for them to get back in it. And of course, for both these teams, but Cavalier especially, because they're below Arnett Gardens, they need the maximum points.
Now, Lance, what about Arnett Gardens? You know, they have lost their assistant coach, Irvinia English, a few days ago. Of course, we continue to send our condolences to the Arnett Gardens family and all those who were close to Irvinia English. What do they need to do tonight, Arnett Gardens?
Well, I think they'll go into this match sort of feeling in a dedication mode, trying to play this game in memory of their fallen assistant coach. But they've got speedy wingers, players like Steve Clark up front, and they need to utilize the speed, especially in transition, to try to hurt this Cavalier defense. And they also must fix their defensive woes. They have been really awful, this Arnett Gardens team. Their defense is the 3rd worst in the league at the moment, and they haven't had a clean sheet since early December. So problems there for them. They've got to fix that.
And Cavalier will be looking to exploit that tonight against Arnett Gardens FC. Now let's take a look at what you can expect on the home of champions before we head to our first break. The Los Angeles Clippers are up against Houston Rockets. That's Thursday at 8 p.m. 9 ECT on Sportsmax. More NBA action on Sportsmax Thursday at 10:30 p.m. 11:30 ECT when the champions last year, Toronto Raptors, face off against the Golden State Warriors. La Liga on Saturday on Sportsmax 2. Atletico Madrid plays Sevilla Saturday at 10 a.m. 11 ECT. And Barcelona will be looking for a win against Real Sociedad on Saturday at 12:30 p.m. 1:30 ECT as they chase Real Madrid. They are a point behind them on the tables. You can watch on Sportsmax 2. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. We continue our build-up. Arnett Gardens, they are here at Cavalier FC. Both teams looking for 3 crucial points tonight as they try to make their way to the top 6 in the Red Stripe Premier League.
Has never been clear.
Defender to electrify the crowd. Look at this play. I'm gone.
We are ready.
The role is to continue to drive for the development of the game here. Although players are selected from clubs abroad, they were developed in the league.
They're really quality players and they have really good attitude and you get your money's worth.
This match has turned up several gears.
Welcome back to Stadium East Football Field on Mountain View Avenue in Kingston, Jamaica. It is a windy and chilly night in our neck of the woods, 25 degrees Celsius to be exact. Of course, this is Red Stripe Monday Night Football action as the Junglist, 5-time champions Arnett Gardens are visiting Cavalier Football Club. My name is Shawana Ebanks. If you are just joining us, we do hope you have been enjoying our pregame show so far. Now, Donald Oliver will tell you a little bit more about the home team tonight, Cavalier Football Club.
Thank you, Shawana. Yep, Cavalier, they have been champions once, but they're seeking that elusive second title. Of course, they were founded in 1962, and they are located in the parish of St. Andrew. Last season, they were beaten finalists, and they'll be hoping to go even further this season, but they have the issue of trying to get into that top 6, which is proving to be a little bit difficult, especially with the fact that they are a team in transition. But they do have this youngster back in goal, Jaden White. He's been here for a couple of games since his return from Humble Lion, and of course he was a leader when he was at St. Andrew Technical High School last year, and he's pretty much a vocal presence in goal for Cavalier. And of course he can be spectacular when he pulls off the saves as well, Jaden White. And of course he's obviously a player to look ahead to.
Yeah, still just 19 years old, Jaden White, and has already caught the attention of the national senior coaches. And here's another teenager with a lot of promise. Dwayne Atkinson scored twice in Cavalier's last 2 matches. Scored in the 1-1 draw against Tivoli in mid-February, and last week scored in one of the 3-0 goals in the 3-0 victory over UWI. So the Kingston College man is looking for more goals here tonight. Everdean Scarlett is the man in charge at Cavalier as the assistant coach.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Now, in your last match against UWI, you scored 3 goals in 6 minutes. How do you plan on getting such a quick start again tonight?
We just have to come out tonight and, you know, start the game fast like how we start the UE game, and hope we get the goals.
And what was the plan to get that happening?
As I said, you know, just come out, don't relax, start the game fast, an up-tempo game, and we should get some goals.
Now, Captain Siobhan Marsh said it's time to separate the men from the boys. Will a win tonight start that separation process?
Yes, definitely. He made a big statement, and I agree with him 100%. It's time for us now to make a statement and try to make a run in the league.
Semi-finals last year, can you do one better this season?
Yeah, definitely. We are doing some work in training, hoping to get past. You know, it's 2 seasons we went to the semi-final, so this season we are hoping to do one better this season.
And what are some of the work that you have been doing in training?
Getting the forward, scoring a lot of goals, you know, passing. You know, our style of football, it never changed. You know, we're hoping to pass the ball a lot more, you know, and getting into the final.
Arnett Gardens, 5-time champions of the Red Stripe Premier League. Their first title way back in 1978. The last one, 2017. They've been champions twice in the last 6 years, this Arnett Gardens team. Not in the best of form at the moment. They were quarter-finalists last year, where they were eliminated in the playoffs by, guess who? Cavalier FC. Among the key players for Arnett Gardens tonight, their young midfielder Romeo Guthrie, who comes in here with a lot of promise. This 21-year-old former Charlie Smith captain has scored 2 goals already for the season, and the coaching staff has been very, very pleased with his development and the maturity he's been showing at this level.
And here's another one, Paul Wilson. And he would have been a part of a successful Glenmuir team back in 2012, Paul Wilson. And, well, so much was expected of him at that young age. And I'm not sure if he has fulfilled his potential, having witnessed his rise in schoolboy football. But, yep, still trying to make a mark in the business here. Let's take a listen to what the coaching staff has to say.
Lamar, firstly, we'd like to offer condolences to the Arnett Gardens Football Club on the loss of your assistant coach, Ervinia English, earlier this week. How has it been these last few days?
Well, words can't explain our grief today. It's devastating towards the team, the coaching staff, and everybody. Wilma's Arnett and community of RAPTORS as well. But nevertheless, we have a task at hand, and Irving English would want us to get that 3 points for him tonight as a warrior.
Now, after beating Cavalier 2 times this season, how confident are you in a three-peat?
Well, them said that you can't take any team light, even though we have won the last 2 games, but it's 3 points as usual. Focus and ready to go as the whistle blow.
Although it's a long shot, do you think this coaching staff in their first season can deliver a trophy to the jungle?
In any coaching job, our aim is to bring a trophy to the community. So, nevertheless, we're hoping that we could do that based on what is happening in the community as well. Because crime is in the community, and we want to give them a trophy to alleviate all of that.
All right, guys, you just heard from the coaching staff. Let's take a look at what you can expect to see coming up on Sportsmax this week. We have RSPL action, but not on a Monday night. On a Sunday night, UAFC will play Portmore United Sunday at 3:30 p.m., 4:30 ECT on Sportsmax 2. We have La Liga action on Sportsmax 2 Saturday at 10 a.m., 11 ECT when Atletico de Madrid plays Sevilla. More La Liga action on Sportsmax 2 when the mighty Barcelona play Real Sociedad Saturday, 12:30 p.m., 1:30 ECT. And of course, Sportsmax is where the La Liga lives, so you can see Levante play Granada Sunday, 10 a.m., 11 ECT. So as I mentioned earlier, a few days ago, the assistant coach at Arnett Gardens, Irvinia English, passed on. He was a former Jamaican national player. He played for Waterhouse Football Club. He won the Manning Cup with Norman Manley High School. He was the assistant coach at Wolmer's Boys as well. He really contributed a lot to Jamaican football, and we would still like to offer our condolences to his family, to the Arnett Gardens Football Club, to the community of Waterhouse, to everyone who knew and loved Irvinia English. All right, we're going to take a break. We return with more as we continue our build-up to this exciting Premier League game between Arnett Gardens and Cavalier FC.
All roads lead to the final. Coppa Italia semi-finals. Juventus Milan, Wednesday, March 4th, 1945 GMT. All roads lead to the final. Coppa Italia semi-finals. Napoli-Inter, Thursday, March 5th, 1945 GMT.
Defender to electrify the crowd. Look at this piece of play. I'm gone.
Mr. One bag of gold medal pan me now. Red stripe alone champion boy go. Pan up pour them a sing anthem to. Red stripe, watch out. Man, shall I better forward boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal winner run from boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy now. Back down we run marathon boy. The Red stripe Premier League champion boy. Yeah, yo.
You're tuned in to Red Stripe Premier League Monday Night Football action, and we are live from Stadium East Football Field when Cavalier FC, one-time champions, take on five-time champions Arnett Gardens. It is 7 versus 8. Who will make it to the top 6, if any? Of course, tonight will be an indication of that. My name is Shawana Ebanks. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on the home of champions. Of course, you know, we love to hear from the fans. They usually have a lot to say. They're like the sideline coaches. So this is where I'm going to turn you over to the panelists. Let them have a say.
My name is Shakim Stora.
and I'm a spectator of Cavalier Soccer Club. I spectate Cavaliers from 10 years now.
My name is Roman Elliott. I support Arnett Garden from 2010. Look out for Cameron Malcolm. You see me? Fabian Reed. You see me? Arnett Garden, Tree Love. You see me? Big style. Look out for Paul Wilson. You see me? Big number 5 now back. You see me?
Just watch out for number 24, Kamai Simpson. See me? Mega Chan. Number 13, Dwayne Atkinson. Number 10, Trevor Messi Man.
Big up my coach, you see me, Dada, English, you see me, Arnett Garden for life. More strength and more love, you see me, English rest in peace, Arnett Garden for life.
Cavaliers, never switch. Big size, 3-piece, not KFC chicken, 3-piece, big size.
Never switch. I would down, rise to the top, Arnett Garden for life. I would come with, we're not afraid of nobody, we're not afraid of nobody. Tell them that. We're not afraid of nobody who them come with. Them come with them bully, we just bully them down. And just go to the jungle and restart back over. Arnett Garden for life. Big up, one love. Eat it.
Look on it. Big size. Remember that.
Such passionate fans we have there, and as I mentioned, we love to hear from them because they always have something so exciting and entertaining for us. Now, for our actual analyst and commentator team, I turn you over to Donald Oliver and Lance Whitaker.
Thank you, Shawana. In the words of the finalists, Yuzumi. Lance Whitaker. I think that one's the best one yet, actually.
I think so too, yes.
Yeah, they are really fanatics in every sense of the word, and one of them, I suppose, will get a lot of ribbing after the game because, you know, it's not going to go there unless it ends in a draw, of course, but for one of them it won't go their way. But as we take a look at the table, because it's pretty close, Lance, of course it's close at the top, but it's also close for that battle for 6th spot.
Yeah, that's for sure. If you look at the team that is in fourth at the moment, the defending champions, Portmore, they're only on 42 points. Yes, they have a game in hand, well, 2 games in hand on some of the other teams, but they appear with 5 rounds of matches to go to still be within reach of like an Arnett Garns or even a Cavalier if results go their way. So there's still a lot to play for here. Just this gap of just 7 points between 4th and 9th at the moment. So the battles for the playoff spots will continue from now to the end of the regular season.
Just got breaking news that Moulins FC will now be playing their home matches at Waterhouse FC. So their remaining matches will be contested at Jerusalem as they push, dare we say, for a playoff spot.
Unlikely, but not impossible mathematically, but I would think that is a bit beyond them with just 5 matches remaining in the season.
Yeah, we saw Portmore where they were in the table, and after a pretty slow start, eventually beginning to show their pedigree. We've seen Arnett Garns in this position before, of course, on their way to a title a couple of seasons back, where they made the charge from 6th all the way to the championship. So this is not something that Arnett Garns in particular they are not used to. We've seen them do it before, and the hope is that they can do something similar again this season.
Yeah, for their fans though, they would be a little bit worried about the fact that they aren't showing the gears. Arnett Garns is a team that usually has gears, and when they turn it on, it's hard to stop them. But so far this season, they have been sputtering, and the all-conquering Arnett Garns team of 3 or 4 years ago is absent from this current setup. But you know, if you look at their roster overall, they do have quality there, and if the players rise to their best form, they could in fact challenge for the title.
Cavalier in particular, we know what type of team they are in terms of them investing in youth, and of course they would have sold a couple of their players, the likes of Alex Marshall and Nicholas Hamilton. So that that era has ended, but they still demand that possession-based football. Is it something that you're expected to see, especially with the likes of Dwayne Atkinson and Ronaldo Webster making more appearances for them?
Well, I think their problem is that because Alex Marshall and Nicholas Hamilton aren't there anymore, the transition game will be hurt by that, because Hamilton and Marshall gave Siobhan Marsh, their captain, that sort of attacking combination up front that made the midfielders want to push the ball forward to them all the time. So the lesser experienced players will have that shoulder, that burden on their shoulders to try to keep that up. But good, talented teenagers in their starting roster tonight. Of course, Dwayne Atkins is 17 years old, and Ronaldo Webster, 18 years old. The goalkeeper is 19 years old. So that blooding of young teenagers in the top flight you spoke of just now, still evident in this Cavalier team.
Arnett Gardens, they have been conceding a lot of goals, and to be honest, it isn't new, right? Arnett Gardens is an attacking team, and their mindset is, we'll outscore you. So them conceding isn't new, but they have been lacking the firepower, haven't they? And with the fact that there's no more Visional Harris, their playmaker as well, they're going through a transition too.
Yeah, problems for Arnett Gardens, you are correct. They have always given up goals, but the fact is that they always score many goals to counter the fact that they give up goals. Right now, their goal difference is -3, which tells you that although defensively they continue to be a little bit shaky, they aren't making up for that with goals. They haven't kept a clean sheet, this Arnett Gardens team, since the 2nd of December when they beat Mount Pleasant by 1-0. And at the moment, their scoring, their concession rate is very, very, very high. Defensively, they are the 3rd worst team in the league at the moment, giving up 41 goals. Only Malines with 47 and UWI 48 have given up more goals than they have.
But the game is being delayed by a few minutes. We're still trying to get confirmation as to what exactly is the issue. Of course, those are the officials in charge, led by Daniel Parchment, who will be the man in the middle for this particular game. And the teams, well, we're expected to see them line up any minute now. But yeah, it's not the best start that you would expect in a live television game on a Monday night. But let's hope that whatever it is, it's being sorted out quickly and the teams get ready to do battle.
Yeah, there is Damien Hart, who was in the goal for Arnett Gardens in their match last week. He starts on the bench tonight. Siobhan Marsh, the former Calabar man, with a captain's armband for this Cavalier team. And interestingly, as I said, Arnett against Cavalier so far this season have been 100% with their success winning rate, and looking to keep that tonight to complete the sweep over Cavalier for the 2019-2020 season.
Well, the teams are about to enter the field of play, and boy, don't they need to play. Arnett Gardens and Cavalier, they have blown hot and cold this season, but right now they need to be really hot as they push for the playoff spot. Right now they are 7th and 8th, but they need the maximum 3 points, don't they? They really do, if they harbor any hopes to continue their trek to the Red Stripe Premiership. We now pause for the playing of the national anthem.
Check. Please stand for the national anthem of Jamaica. Please remain standing while we do a moment of silence in honor
dearly
of
departed Irvino English, former national player, former Waterhouse player, who also won a title, Manny Cup title with Norman Manley in the schoolboy football. And we now pause. Violent circumstances, and again we just send our condolences to his family and friends. Such a live wire, especially in support of one Liverpool football club, an avid supporter in fact, and up to recently on Facebook he was celebrating their near success of the Premier League, and well, I'm sure he left knowing that the title was theirs, but at any rate he won't be able to see them actually lifting the trophy. So of course disappointment there, but mainly with the fact that we have lost him under these circumstances, and it really should not be tolerated in Jamaica. Daniel Parchment is the man in charge. He'd be assisted by Nicholas Anderson and O.J. Duaney. Nerissa Golson will be the fourth official. So take a look at the starting lineup for Cavalier. Jadine White, of course, in goal. Kamoy Simpson, Clifton Woodbine, Kyle Ming, Orlando Brown, Brian English, Kadale Irving, Jamar Purcell, Ronaldo Webster, Dwayne Atkinson, and Chevon Messi Marsh. Of course, Marsh with 11 goals this season.
Two changes from this team that beat UWI 3-0 last week. Orlando Brown and Ronald Webster in for Ajay Chin and Orlando Maxwell, and Marsh center of attack for the Cavalier team tonight as a captain.
Of course, Riddle Speed is in charge of the Cavalier unit as we take a look at Arnett Garden's starting lineup. Shadeen Rodriguez, the former Jamaica College player, is in goal. Ramon McGregor, the former Kingston College player, is in goal. Ramon McGregor, Jamar Martin, Michael Webb, O'Shane Roberts, Ricardo Oldham, Romeo Guthrie, Paul Wilson, Fabian Reed, Steve Clark, and Kemal Malcolm, who also has 11 goals to his name.
Three good men at the top there for Arnett Gardens tonight. 5 changes to the team that lost by 2-0 to Mount Pleasant last week. Rodriguez, Roberts, Webb, Wilson, and Steve Clark in for Hyatt, the Kitishan Cannoneer, Nesbet Neal, and Javoni Sims.
Yeah, didn't have that result that they wanted against Mount Pleasant, so they did ring in those changes in the hopes that it would provide some sort of push as they seek that 6th spot.
Yeah, very, very experienced and prolific scorers, Malcolm and Reed on the front end here for this Arnett Gardens team. And
Arnett Gardens will kick off. They'll be kicking towards the Blue Mountain region. Cavalier will be kicking towards the Caribbean Sea and to downtown Kingston. Of course, Cavalier in the black and white, and Arnett Gardens in their typical red and black. As Cavalier trying to move forward, and they're going through the ranks now. Marsh trying to stab it out wide to Dwayne Atkinson, and himself trying to close down. Arnett Gardens will go the other way. So Kemal Malcolm looking for some help, found Paul Wilson. A brisk start to this game as Arnett Gardens tried to play it out wide, and the Cavalier utilizing speed themselves through Dwayne Atkinson, but couldn't get by his marker. And Arnett Gardens looking to come out of their own half, but they're finding it difficult to do so. Seeing a lot of pressing early, and now Cavalier, who also aren't shy to start from the back with their competent goalkeeper Jadine White. But let's see how they transition, because that's what we're looking at, to see if they'll be able to transition from the midfield to a more attacking front. They win a free kick over on the far side as he was shut down pretty early, Ronaldo Webster.
Yeah, very aggressive challenge there from Michael Webb. Knocked the young player over. He's in his second season at the top flight, this 18-year-old, so he now knows what it is like to be in with the big boys.
Yep. Just taking a few tackles as well, Ronaldo Webster. At both the junior level as well as the senior level. Very skillful player, Ronaldo Webster. Cavalier with the free kick. 3rd minute of play. Let's see what they do with this one. Lovely ball inside the box, and it was just in front of the onrushing Kamoy Simpson, looking for his 3rd this season.
Oh, and he almost got there, the central defender. Just a teasing ball across the box, and I wonder if Rodriguez shouldn't have come for that in goal based on how close the line of the ball was to him. And this big, strong Simpson almost beat him to it.
Yeah, it was whipped in with pace though.
Yeah.
So Rodriguez would have had his doubts, and once he had doubts, I suppose he rightfully stayed on his line. But yeah, it was just outside the 6-yard box, and it would have been swinging away from him as well.
Yeah.
Here's Marsh again, challenged on this occasion. Wilson turns, sends it wide. Malcolm stabs it forward. Gets the return ball. Nice movement, looking for a return inside the box, but Wilson was cut down. So it's going to be a free kick to Arnett Gardens in a dangerous spot.
Yeah, Ming just cutting down the little man there on that play. Everyone knows how skillful Wilson can be. Of course, he was with Cavalier before moving over to Arnett Gardens. So these Cavalier men know about his ball handling skills. Arnett wanting to start strong here. They were early leaders midway the first half when they beat Cavalier 4-2 back in November.
Kemal Malcolm is behind this one. O'Shane Roberts is there, but it is Malcolm who sends it high. White seemed pretty comfortable in goal. And Malcolm couldn't quite get the direction there.
Yeah, just a little bit high there on that kick, Malcolm. But Arnett showing the desire to start quickly to put the Cavalier team under pressure. As we said in the November meeting that they had in the second round, Arnett were leading Cavalier by 2-0 after 23 minutes with Sims and Malcolm getting goals, and Cavalier just had to play catch up the entire game. And signs here that Arnett are trying to get that quick start again.
There's Rudolph Speed, technical director of Cavalier, has his hands full with the transition that his team is going through in the absence of Nicholas Hamilton and Alex Marsh. Alex Thomas handling his own transition as well, having rung the changes for today's game. And also he's still trying to get used to life without Irvina English.
Of course, English wasn't only his assistant coach here at Arnett Gardens, but his assistant coach during the schoolboy football season with Wolmers.
Yep. Ronaldo Webster, who plays for Cavalier, of course would have been a part of that Wolmers setup as well, having transferred from St. Elizabeth Technical. Very much close to the unit from Heroes Circle. There he is, the number 31 for Cavalier. So he would have gotten to know Irvina English very well as his coach. Would have worked with him personally for a year. He had options, could have gone anywhere in the corporate area, in fact, Ronaldo Webster, but decided to choose Wolmers. Really had a cadre of good coaches. Sean Fraser, part of the coaching staff as well. And all of them felt it. They really have the past week or so. Irving stabs it out wide, too far in front of Dwayne Atkinson, and it should go behind for a goal kick to Arnett Gardens.
Of course, Cavalier eliminated Arnett Gardens in the playoffs last year and played undefeated against Arnett Gardens all season last year in all 5 matches they met. There were 3 Cavalier wins and 2 drawn results. The table's turning this year though, because the 2 meetings they've had so far this season have both been won by Arnett.
Atkinson collects this one. I think he was in 2 minds there. Wanted to run inside, and then he saw his captain make the move out left, and then in the end did neither. He'll get the ball again, Atkinson, and he's looking for options. Don't think he'll make the same mistake. Decides to turn it inside, and Cavalier will try and settle. A ball to nowhere on that occasion.
I think Arnett will be trying to bank on the pace of Malcolm and Clark on the front end, both men on the flanks. Clark on the left and Malcolm on the right, players with extreme pace. And the problem for them is that the flank defenders for Cavalier are pretty solid players themselves as well. So Arnett's strengths hitting face on into a couple of strong parts of the field for Cavalier.
Picked up here, the shot charged down, and that one came in pretty strong from Gadil Irving, and the deflection taking it away for a corner kick to Cavalier. I think this is your first.
Yeah, I think so. Webb apparently didn't realize that the ball had come off an Arnett player, because I think he could have retrieved it but left it.
So for the first corner kick, Irving to deliver. Well,
Featherbranner's getting in the way.
Sponsors may have a problem with that, but let the game continue.
He's left the red stripe one.
Irving sends his one at the back post. Ming heads it down, and it's put over the top. Well, Ming did well. Unmarked pretty much at the back post.
Yeah, Ming just turning that one inside, and McGregor just getting there. Reacting quickly, McGregor did. A bit of a wild clearance, but he got rid of it.
Here's a delivery, not the best in swinging corner. Arnett Gardens managing to clear. First touch from Malcolm, back to Michael Webb, and now they seek to advance up the pitch. Arnett Gardens. Shane Roberts couldn't get by Webster, and it's a throw in to the Junglers. Siobhan Marsh.
Being used, Marsh, in a more central role so far this year. The reason why he's had 11 goals compared to 3 last year.
Oh, that's a lovely ball. Too much on it though. White would have seen that one early and collected quickly, and almost immediately hurls it out wide, and the long ball of field can't get by Jamar Martin, and in the end it goes out into touch for an Arnett Gardens throw.
Well done.
Arnett Gardens spectators, they do have travelling support as always, as Guthrie almost sent that one through, but Jadine White was pretty much alert to the danger. Wilson collecting this one deep, looking for the options here. Gets the return ball. Paul Wilson almost threaded it through. Is that Steve Clark over on the far side? Yep.
Cavalier doing well, getting behind the ball, filling up their own half of the field when the Arnett men have the ball. So reducing the passing options for Arnett here, because they know that if Arnett are able to pierce their defense line with speedy players like Malcolm, could be problems.
Almost problems for Cavalier on that occasion, as they couldn't get the ball through to Malcolm, who was making that run inside the box. Irving has to clear quickly. Didn't go too far, but his teammates retrieve. And now it's sent out wide. Cavalier trying to transition. Looking for the options forward. Ming, used to seeing him as a centre-back. Now will be playing in a holding midfield role. Oh, Malcolm couldn't control on that occasion. He would be disappointed with the end result there. And it's a throw into Cavalier. Both teams making the simple mistakes in this one so far.
A lot of responsibility given to Kyle Ming, as you mentioned, Donald, a young player, but has a good brain on his shoulders, and the central midfield role he's taking here with Leonard Rankin, who has moved over to Mount Pleasant, leaving that spot open, and technical director Speed feeling that Ming has the quality and the headspace, even at 20 years old, to handle it.
I think he was one of Jamaica's better defensive prospects, as Cavaliers switching the play over to that far side, collected by Webster. The first touch could have been better. It was seen all the way by Michael Webb, and Webster doing too much. Couldn't get the better of Webb.
Can't blame Webster there. He is trying to put the defender under as much pressure as possible, trying to force an error from the more experienced Arnett man.
The battle between Webb and Webster is going to be interesting tonight.
Yes, it will be.
Here it is again, and Webb comes out on top once again. Here is Wilson, demanding so much of the ball. He's going to get one of those right this evening, you'd think. But again, it wasn't an accurate pass to Steve Clark, who appreciates the support.
Yeah. I think it's just an illustration.
Oh, Oldham stabs it forward. Ball dinked inside the box. Cleared out. Marsh touches it wide. Atkinson trying to find what Marsh almost did. Goes the other way now. Roberts plays it back inside. A chip inside the area, headed away by Woodbine. Irving plays it back. Kamori Simpson. Oh, nice one-touch football. Atkinson again looking for options. Not a lot of players running through the middle, and Atkinson hesitated there. A lot of movement on the flanks for Cavalier, but at times they do come up short in running through the middle.
Yeah, this is the Cavalier game. They've played probably about 15 unanswered passes so far in this passage of play, and that's how Coach Speed likes to see them move the ball around, albeit inside their own half, so they're not threatening at the moment, but the possession game is important for them.
Well, they are being threatened and they lose the ball in a dangerous position. That wasn't the best option from Oldham.
Oh, the poor clearance there from J.D. White, who appears to have stubbed his boot in the turf there as he tried to clear that one. Almost put his team into problems.
Fabian Reed. Oh, wasn't the best touch from Wilson. Marsh trying to get away from him now. Marsh with the shot. and was charged down at the right time. And now here is O'Shane Roberts. First touch from Malcolm, who loves to play that sort of game as he runs off trying to get the return pass, which didn't come. And now it goes the other way, and that's too much on it. We haven't seen a lot of quality in the attacking third from both teams, and yet chances in the last minute or so gone a begging, really. Chances for Arnett and Cavalier.
Arnett need to be a little bit more accurate with their passes upfield.
Exhibit A.
Yeah. But the intentions are clear, because as we said, with players like Reid and Malcolm on the front end for them, they constantly want to feed the balls up front.
Well, Webb goes into the referee's book insisting to Daniel Parchment that he collected the ball, probably not hinting the fact that he probably took away part of his leg, Webster's leg. Of course, he's talking to a referee who has issued out 64 yellow cards this season in 20 matches. He's also showed 2 red cards as well, as we confirm the yellow to Michael Webb. Here's the delivery inside. That's not a bad looking one to Ming once more. Woodbine is up there. Sets it up at the top of the box, and that was wayward from Dwayne Atkinson. He should have done better. He apologizes. That should have been on target. It really should have been.
Yeah, the young man looking to score in his 3rd game in a row, having scored against Tivoli in mid-February, and then last weekend against the UWI in the 3-0 victory they had. Kingston College standout. Just whipped his left boot into that one, but didn't get any direction on the shot. But he's a player with a lot of pace and a lot of confidence as a teenager coming into the top flight.
Would have beaten Rodriguez quite a few times in training as well, Dwayne Atkinson. Training for Kingston College. And on that occasion, though, missed him and the target. Woodbine striding upfield. English, can he keep that one in play? Goes behind for a goal kick to Arnett Gardens. Haven't seen a lot of Brian English in this game.
Former Harbourview man had an ankle injury at the start of the season. I think he had a fractured ankle.
Yeah, he did.
And was out for
a few months.
Yeah, back now, but a player with a lot of quality and a lot of composure on the ball. Never ever seems flustered on the ball. Good technique. And I think we've not yet seen the best of him.
Here's Arnett Gardens. Malcolm. Roberts trying to deliver that one. Webster. Love this about him, his industry, and his distribution as well. Marsh making a run through the middle, and he really did take forever and a day to to make the pass.
A lot more willingness so far after 20 minutes in this match from the Arnett team.
Here they come again. It's Paul Wilson with time and space, and forced to go wide. But that's Simpson utilizing his pace and size very well on that occasion. Cavalier edging possession. Jamar Martin sends it all the way through. Arnett Gardens in transition. Is Malcolm onside? He keeps it in play as well. Lays it back. Here's a cross inside. And it's cleared out by Woodbine in the end. He was in 2 minds, I'm sure, because he wanted to go for the spectacular Steve Clark. And in the end, he just tried to settle for the assist. but it went nowhere inside the box. And Danny Gardens, with that spell, they get a corner kick.
Yeah. Clark there had an opportunity to go for a one-time effort on goal. I think the trajectory of the ball made it a little bit uncertain for him. In the end, he didn't go for that shot.
O'Shane Roberts with the corner kick. That's a good delivery, that's headed away. And that's one is gone behind. And it's going to be a goal kick to Cavalier. But Reed picked it up, sent it out wide. Malcolm did well to keep it in play. And then that was a beautiful delivery inside, and Clark, I think he was in a couple of minds there, wanted to go for the spectacular and probably was just too far away from him.
Yeah, I think the ball curved a little bit away from him, so his original intention to go for the scissors kick may have been scuppered by the fact that the ball was drifting away from him.
Long ball to Malcolm. White comes off his line, gets a vital hand on it. Arnett gone still with the possession. Wilson dinks it inside to Reed. Reed, Wilson. He wasn't going to get anything there, and the Cavalier player is down. And Wilson may need some attention as well. Irving, though, well, seems to be fine. Although the way he's wrapped up may not be totally fine.
Yeah, probably some hamstring tightness there. Good to see Wilson back in this Arnett Garns roster, though, after having some injury issues a couple of months ago.
Natural playmaker, Paul Wilson. Always liked him over the years. His vision while he was on the ball. Seemed to have a lot of time, especially when he was a schoolboy footballer. He dominated at that level. Here's a shot from Webster! Wide of the mark! My goodness me! That was a snapshot if ever there was one. Not sure if Rodriguez had that covered, but Webster really did let fly.
Brilliant technique that was. The way he set the shot up. He takes it there on the chest and one time with the effort. It was a fine effort from the teenager.
He's another one I appreciate. Ronaldo Webster has a lot of potential.
Yeah, what was good about that play, Donald, was the fact that he was under pressure. There was a defender right on his heels and on his shoulders, and he was able to get a shot off.
Game coming into life. Saw that shot from Webster. And Gans realizing that that is a warning shot. Would like to respond. And here they are now with the possession. Fabian Reed.
Well, he's playing point, and look at where he is at the moment.
In the center circle.
Yeah.
Roberts. Reed. Free kick to Arnett Gardens. Romeo Guthrie was under pressure and was fouled. This is some way out.
Yeah, I think Guthrie was a victim there of Orlando Brown, knowing the kind of threat he would have been. Probably back in school days when Brown was with Jamaica College and Guthrie with Charlie Smith.
Well, it's going to be difficult to score from here. He's legit kicking into the breeze.
The goalkeeper is one of the best.
He does go for goal. And White, seeing that one all the way. Had a lot of power behind that shot, actually. That's a late challenge. Well, no. Ming got up right away. But here's Cavalier once more. Atkinson, English, Webster. Oldham has it. Poor pass from him. Webster couldn't get by Webb. He was going to be under pressure for the rest of this game. He's on a yellow card, remember? Webster would be wise to utilize his pace as much as possible along that right-hand side, as Webb would have second thoughts with every challenge that he would want to put in. Here's Cavalier once more. Marsh turns well, has a defender to beat. He's ushered onto his left foot, deciding to take the shot, and it's going to be a goal kick. He would have preferred it on his right. Well, he's primarily left-footed, but it's strange as to how he was defended there. Yeah, he was forced to go wide, but that's his stronger foot.
Yeah, they recognize how dangerous he can be. Of course, Cavalier's leading scorer this season, and the Arnett men at central defence will have to keep a close tab on him.
Reed sweeps this one inside, and Malcolm, not sure exactly what took place there, but he went to the turf, probably just went off balance.
Yeah, Irvin challenged him well. Irvin challenged him really well.
Yeah, without following him in a dangerous area. Ming under pressure. Woodbine plays it back to Jadine White.
Arnett, though, would be encouraged, Donald, by the trouble that Cavalier's defence has been under when they get accurate passes through.
Here's Orlando Brown. I think the ground did him dirty on that occasion. English sending it out wide to Webster. Webb on him like White on Rice, really. Cross, deflection, and Webb turns it behind unwittingly.
Gets in an argument with his teammate Jamar Martin. It was, I think, because of a heavy spin on the ball. That's what created problems for Webb there. And Martin thinks he should have done better.
I think Martin was just telling him that he had more time on the ball. But Webb was having none of it. It seems that he's having a very miserable evening so far. Michael Webb. And this is the third corner kick for Cavalier now. This one delivered at the near post. Malcolm trying to get there for Arnett Gardens, does well. Needs some support though. Ran out of real estate. It's going to be a throw into Cavalier. Got Dale Irving with the throw. Atkinson does well. Lovely delivery. Webster wasn't expecting it. Gets there ahead of Rodriguez. And Rodriguez was saying that it came on Webster last, but a corner kick is given to Cavalier, and Webster again can't believe how close he was. But what a move this was from Atkinson, getting by his marker, then the cross whipped inside, and Webster didn't really expect it. Did he take a deflection before he got to Webster? It probably did.
Brilliant work by Atkinson there, and I think Webster was a little uncertain. Maybe there was a slight deflection from the Webb header that made things difficult for him to get control of the ball, but he would have been disappointed with his touch there.
Corner kick number 4 for Cavalier. Here it is, not a bad delivery again. Rodriguez comes out, didn't get a hold on it, and it's sent out wide, but Rodriguez again moves quickly. He's in some pain. He needs some attention. His hand hurts still, based on what happened on the previous play.
Yeah, has looked a little bit frenetic. Rodriguez has on some of these set plays with the corners and so on, opting on many occasions to punch the ball away because he's under so much pressure. Now he's hurt, but testing corner here. Yeah, he keeps having to come, Rodriguez, to try to claim the ball.
Yeah, he got, was he stamped on? Possibly. Webster coming through there. Felt it belatedly. Did Shadim Rodriguez. Was at Dunoon before he came across to Kingston College. Rodriguez, last term.
Actually replaced the 34-year-old experienced Damien Hatt in goal for tonight's match because Hatt was in goal against Mount Pleasant last weekend. Got a lot of playing time earlier in the first and second rounds, Rodriguez, because of an injury to Hatt. Hatt by all accounts fit now, but probably not at his best.
Webb has to be mindful of Webster, who's also pretty tenacious. And actually, in my opinion, is a good defender as well, Ronaldo Webster.
He tackles well, has a good football brain, very, very obvious, and the technical skills to match.
Hold on. Wilson deflected. White is there.
I'm not sure which coach at the moment will be happier with the passage of play so far. I think Arnett Gardens is carrying through the game plan well enough. It's just that their passing hasn't been as clinical as it needs to be, because you continuously see the willingness of the Arnett Gardens midfielders to push the ball through to the front men as often as they can.
Here's Arnett again. Reed has Clark there for help, finds him. Guthrie, Webb, Reed, put behind, corner kick. I believe this is their second Arnett Gardens.
Yeah, and there's Fabian Reed, usually their leading goal scorer.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah, not this year though.
Has a lot of experience, and would have gathered a lot of experience in Trinidad and Tobago when he played for W Connection in the Premier League over there, the professional league. Oh, this has become a habit, and Red Stripe is one of the casualties. Here's Steve Clark with the delivery. Sent inside at the back post over the head of Ramon McGregor. Hounded by a couple of defenders now. Will do well to get a corner.
Well, he was trying to. McGregor has been tasked with the responsibility of marshalling the central defensive zone for Arnett Gardens since the departure of O'Neill Bigger Thompson a couple of seasons ago. And as I said, statistically, Arnett's defense line has been very, very shaky.
Jamar Martin not taking any chance there. Woodbine does well to get ahead on it. Oldham. Nobody out wide on this occasion for Arnett Gardens.
Yeah, this could be the problem. Some of the passes that the Arnett midfielders are playing forward are being sprayed a little bit too impatiently, so that's part of the reason why some of the passes have been off target, because they aren't played with enough composure. But you can see the haste with which they're trying to get the ball forward, because I think Coach Thomas wants them to do that.
O'Shane Roberts to deliver. That's a good looking ball at the back post. The whistle goes.
Yeah, Martin.
There was a push.
Yeah, Martin shot Purcell over. That was blatant. Referee couldn't miss that one. Daniel Parchment in charge. Was over in the Scotia CONCACAF Champions League fixture in mid-February with Alianza against Tigres. Alianza from El Salvador and Tigres from Mexico. One of the leading referees in CONCACAF at the moment.
In fact, the entire team was there. Along with the first and second assistant, Nicholas Anderson and Ojay Tuhaney. Marsh luckily wins that one. Nice back heel. Atkinson looking for the curler. I think Rodriguez had that covered though. But he's in some form, looking for his third in 3, Dwayne Atkinson.
Very talented young player, Atkinson, only 17 years old.
Another whistle on the play. Clark, having won the free kick, gets up immediately. He was thinking about writhing around in pain. Hasn't really been a physical game so far. Malcolm, I really just love the touches that he makes with the football, Kamal Malcolm. And it gets another free kick. Shane Roberts to deliver once more. And Arnett have sent bodies inside the box. 4 at the moment. Here's the delivery. Wonderful, but it's wide. The connection from Reed. White was absolutely beaten there. Nothing he could have done about that one. And Reed should have done better for his 6th.
Yeah, he was unchallenged for that header 2 seasons ago. I'm sure he would have put that away. Yeah, not in his best form, Fabian Reed. 11 goals last year, 16 goals the season before. And he was all alone there for that header and sprayed it wide.
Roberts has done really well so far with his deliveries in this game.
Both teams have done well with their corner kicks, because the corner kicks for the Cavalier team have stressed Rodriguez and the Arnett Gardens goal as well.
Well, the players are trying to destroy every bit of advertising inside the Stadium East field. Arnett can't believe the call. They expected it to be their throw. Oldham. Reed. Clark. Ooh! Clark sends this one inside. The first touch was poor. Was it Malcolm inside the box?
Yeah.
But what a move from Steve Clark. That left the defender dead, but not only dead, buried. Jamar Purcell wouldn't want to see that one again. Okay, let's show it again.
He was also on the receiving end in that play by Jermaine Teddy Johnson a couple of weeks ago.
And 4 others.
he was on that highlight reel as well, in a negative sense.
Oh, goodness.
Quality from Wilson.
We like seeing this in the Premier League. Oh, this is just beautiful stuff from Arnett Gardens, with the exception of the pass, which Woodbine saw. Here comes Atkinson now. Can he utilize his speed to get by his marker? Not quite, but it's picked up by Brown. Back to Atkinson. English trying to send it out to the dangerous Webster. Picked up again by English. And Atkinson was almost in the way there. Now here's Clark. Now Guthrie. Now Wilson. Back to Guthrie. Arnett Gardens in transition. Reed. Wilson ran into problems looking for a cheap free kick, which was never going to come from Danian Parchment. That will though. And it's in favor of Cavalier, much to the annoyance of the Arnett Gardens faithful in the stands.
Yeah, very, very neat build up there by the Arnett Gardens team. And Wilson almost found himself with enough room there to get a shot off. Didn't quite open up for him, but good passage of play there by both teams. And there's Guthrie taking Atkinson down. Yeah, just trying to shift himself away from Kamoy Simpson, but Simpson is a big man. Simpson actually played under 21 football, Casafa football for Arnett Gardens.
Kamoy Simpson will be akin to the wall of Jericho. It's very difficult to get around.
Yeah.
And he really was looking for that free kick. Yeah, the card is shown to Orlando Brown for a challenge on Paul Wilson. Let's see it here. Oh yeah, it was a late stamp.
Oh yeah.
Underhand to the face, was it? No, almost. No.
Yeah, but that would have been painful for young Wilson. Wilson, not a big man, only 5 feet 4 inches tall, but a bundle of talent.
Nice touch. Wonderful football. Malcolm, brilliantly saved by Jadine White. And how often have we said it? Sticking out the right leg. After that shot from Malcolm, who was seeking his 12th this season.
Yeah, tight angle there. Let's see if that one was actually going on goal. Maybe it was. With a right-footed save, Jadine White. Really outstanding there. Man of the match in our last Monday Night Football that we did with Cavalier.
Yeah, if he keeps it up, he's going to be man of the match in this one. Here's Ming in the attacking third inside the box, goes down easily according to Danian Parchment. And the Cavalier trying to get out of their own defensive third, or Arnett Gardens now. Reed, nice first touch to get by Woodbine. The second pass to Kemal Malcolm, that should have been on target. It really should have. The build-up was brilliant from Arnett Gardens. The ending, not so.
Yeah, the last 5 minutes or so, we've seen some trademark Arnett Gardens build-ups, but the finishing touch there from Malcolm, not as good as it needed to be. Brilliant turn there by Fabian Reed. Malcolm, they're over-anxious because there were defenders closing in on him, and he got a little hasty with the effort and sent it really high. There was Ming going forward there on that play, and the Arnett defenders cutting him down. So
McGregor actually with a good challenge on Ming on that occasion. Had to be made accurately, of course. He was inside the box. Time flies when you're having fun. Just a minute of stoppage time at the end of this one. The game just about simmering.
Yeah, the kind of game that you don't want to see a 0-0 scoreline. We had 2 of those last year, 0-0 scorelines between Cavalier and Arnett in the 5 meetings they had. In fact, those were the only 2 results that Arnett avoided defeat against Cavalier last year in the 5 times they met.
This year a different story though. But Cavalier and Arnett Gardens goalless after 45 minutes. Malcolm, he's had his chances. He's had some brilliant touches on the ball. Webster as well has had a fine first half. Arnett Gardens, they have been trying to make the transitions work, getting by Jaden White has proven to be a difficult task. Rodriguez, he's had his injuries, but he's also acquitted himself well. But after 45 minutes, we are yet to see a goal at Stadium East. It's Cavalier 0, Arnett Gardens 0.
One bag of gold medal pan me now. Red stripe alone champion boy go. Banner pour them a sing anthem to. Red stripe, watch out, watch out, watch out. Man, shall I better forward boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal when I run from boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy now. Back down we run the marathon boy. The Red stripe Premier League champion boy. Yeah, yo.
All roads lead to the final. Coppa Italia semi-finals. Juventus-Milan, Wednesday, March 4th, 1945 GMT. All roads lead to the final. Coppa Italia semi-finals. Napoli-Inter, Thursday, March 5th, 1945 GMT.
Here from Emmafield. Here the Halligan. Here the Halligan!
Back to Lord. Was ball and finish! For sure. This is tactical stuff that was practiced at the training ground. BDF going forward. Shot comes in. Goal number 2. That is out of the top drawer. Ronaldo, Messi.
Football far side. Shot hit. Goal! Lawrence puts the ball.
Defender to electrify the crowd. Look at this display. I'm gone.
Welcome back to the Stadium East field for Red Stripe Football Mondays. Cavalier and Arnett Gardens meeting, and we are yet to see a goal after 45 minutes, but it has been a pretty interesting encounter, Lance Whitaker. Both teams, they had the chances in the first half. Cavalier with this one, Simpson lunging at that one, couldn't quite get a touch on it.
Yeah, Martin and McGregor scrambling back.
And then ball sent out wide. Malcolm kept that one in play. Wilson with the delivery, and Clark was in a couple of minds there looking to go for the spectacular, then tried to assist Fabian Reed, but that was a good opportunity for Arnett Gardens. And then they tried to come out of their own half, proved to be unsuccessful. And look at this from Ronaldo Webster, wide of the mark. Rodriguez, Chadino Rodriguez going across to his left. I don't think he had that one covered, as that one was whipped in by Webster. And then Atkinson, the KC youngster. What a wonderful delivery that was. Webb with a vital touch. Here's the delivery inside. Fabian Reed. Point blank range, pretty much. Wide of the mark. Jaden White was stationed.
Their best chance of the match.
Arnett still pressing. They got into their own. And then this one, again denied. Kamal Malcolm by White. That was a good chance. And the Arnett Gardens ending the half strongly there. But they have nothing to show for their efforts, just the one on target. 4 shots overall. Cavalier still to get something on target. 5 fouls committed by Cavalier, 7 by Arnett Gardens. Just the 2 yellow cards being shown so far in this match. Corner kicks 4-2 in favor of Cavalier, and possession 51% in favor of Cavalier. Shawana Banks is downstairs.
Yes, thank you so much, Donald. So the first 45 minutes are over with not much to show for it. But Orlando Brown of Cavalier FC, he has something to show for his 90.
Orlando Brown, Cavaliers FC. Red stripe, my 90. Stand up for your stripe. Well, football means a lot to me. I always admire my uncle. His name is Richard Campbell. 13 years. My inspiration for playing football, I always admire players like Ronaldinho and the way he control and do a lot of skills and always smile on the pitch. I admire that. Football do a lot for my community. It brings peace and joy in the community. Make everyone come together and watch the football game, and a lot of fun and giveaways and stuff in the community. Well, I went to Jamaica College, and our motto is forever purpose in campus. Work is burning in the field. I play video games and stay on my phone and socialize. My game is, my work rate is high, you know what I mean, and I'm very speedy and awesome move around. Well, I'll be an entrepreneur. Orlando Brown, Cavaliers FC, red stripe, my 90. Stand up for your stripe.
One thing that I like about this My 90 feature is when they ask the question, what does football do for your community? And the answer usually remains consistent. It brings people together, it brings joy, it brings happiness to the community. And that is, of course, one of the reasons why we love this game so much. Let's switch over now and show you what you can watch right here on Sportsmax. RSPL, Red Stripe Football Sunday. UAFC will play Portmore United, 3:30 p.m., 4:30 ECT on Sportsmax 2. And on Monday, Arnett Gardens will welcome Waterhouse at 7:30 p.m., 8:30 ECT on Sportsmax 2. Now La Liga lives on Sportsmax. Atletico de Madrid plays Sevilla Saturday at 10 a.m., 11 ECT. Now Barcelona, they are hunting for that top spot over there in Spain. They take on Real Sociedad Saturday, 12:30 p.m., 1:30 ECT. And you can see Levante play Granada Sunday at 10 a.m., 11 ECT. Now Kyle Ming, the former Bridgeport High player, takes us to the break with his My 90.
My name is Kyle Ming. I play for Cavalier FC. Red stripe, My 90. Stand up for your stripe. Well, football means a lot to me. It helped me to stay focused and get rid of some problems and stuff like those. I've been playing football about 11 years now. As a youngster growing up, I used to Cristiano Ronaldo used to inspire me. As you can see, I have a Real Madrid jersey. Well, football brings the community together and bring more peace and love to the community. I attend Bridgeport High School, and that's one of the best schools in Jamaica. Watch TV and play FIFA. Well, I'm a quick passer of the ball. I'm good in both transitioning, heading, and defending, heading, and attacking, heading, and I'm a good tackler. Well, my dream job is to become a soldier.
All roads lead to the final. Coppa Italia semi-finals. Juventus Milan, Wednesday, March 4th, 1945 GMT. All roads lead to the final. Coppa Italia semi-finals. Napoli Inter, Thursday, March 5th, 1945 GMT.
Here from Emmafield. Hit a Halligan. Hit a Halligan!
Back to Lord. Was ball and finish for sure. This is tactical stuff that was practiced at the training ground. PDF going forward. Shot comes in. Goal number 2. That is out of the top drawer. Ronaldo, Messi.
Football far side. Can't hit. Goal! Lawrence puts the ball into the back of the net.
5 players inside the box. This one at the near post, headed off, cleared off the line.
Someone's arm prevented. Carey has been sent off. Donovan Carey, he stopped it from going in with his arm.
For Thomas, puts it away, and the boys down. Well, it has to be retaken because Carey hadn't left the field as yet. Oh, he skies it. Couldn't put it away.
We'll probably strike it from here. What a goal! Michael Binks scores a tremendous shot. That's an unbelievable strike from 35 yards.
And keeping Cumberland in the defensive zone early. Arnett with an opportunity early. The punch over the top from Kadeem Davis. What a fine effort that was.
Marvin Morgan stealing in. Nobody saw him, and he took out the acrobatic slants, but the goalkeeper was...
Medal pan me no. Red stripe alone champion boy go. Banner pour them a sing anthem to. Red stripe, watcha. Man shall I forward boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal when I run from boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy. Back down we run the marathon boy. The red stripe Premier League champion boy. Yeah.
So it's been a goalless first half here at Stadium East football field between Cavalier and Arnett Gardens. No, the last time these two teams played, it was a 6-goal affair. Can we get 6 goals in the second half? Well, Lance Whitaker and Donald Oliver are waiting to take you through and to guide you accordingly.
Thank you, Shawana. Yeah, Arnett Gardens with their team meeting just before the second half kicks off. And Cavalier as well. Arnett Gardens came back pretty well, ended the half, I should say, pretty strongly after Cavalier had the majority of the possession in the early stages of the half. And well, let's see how the second half plays out and the narrative which will unfold. But it's been simmering, Lance Whitaker, it really has, and we expect it to get even better as both teams aim for a top 6 finish in the Red Stripe Premier League.
Yeah, Arnett Gardens getting closer to scoring in the first half of this contest. In their November 16 meeting when Arnett won by 4 goals to 2. At halftime it was 3-1 in favour of Arnett Gardens, so not that many goals or no goals yet in the match, but both teams threatening.
Second half on the way now. It's going to be Cavalier's turn to be kicking towards the Blue Mountain Range, while Arnett Gardens will be heading towards the Caribbean Sea. That's a strong challenge coming in from Ramon McGregor. And the yellow card is shown. So the third yellow card is shown in this one, which is pretty much the average rate of one Danian Parchment. Before this match, 64 yellow cards in 20 matches. And that was his third, and rightfully so, on McGregor. Chevon Marsh, who was wondering what took referee Parchment so long.
Speed has complained constantly about how brutal tackles are in the Red Stripe Premier League, has complained that the referees are not firm enough.
Kadil Irving sends this one into the arms of Charlene Rodriguez. Reed, an outlet, gets the throw, takes it himself, gets the return from Paul Wilson, sends it across, and no problems there for Jadine White. Well, no problems of note.
I think part of the reason, Donald, why Arnett looked more threatening in the first half is because they had more players in attack when they had more numbers in attack when they were threatening the Cavalier goal. The times when Cavalier were going forward, they seemed to lack numbers.
Carter is going to be making a change. 2 changes, in fact.
I think the My 90 man is coming out.
Yep, Orlando Brown is coming out, having not played the entire 90. He's going to be replaced by Javon Basco.
Yeah, Basco started off the season at Harbourview. In fact, scored 2 goals for Harbourview. Young, very, very talented player.
Jamar Purcell, who has had his issues on that right-hand side, is being replaced by Ramoy Davis. Michael Webb. Woodbine challenged and fouled. Free kick to Cavalier.
I'm very impressed with the talent of young Basco, who was a January transfer from Harbourview. Now he's on. Let's see what he'll be able to do.
Here he is, Basco. Nice touch from Webster. And Irving, not sure exactly what he was trying on that occasion. Woodbine, strong. Clark gets there, trying to get the return from Reed. Simpson trying to clear, didn't go too far. Wilson. Arnett Gardens fans frustrated with that back pass on that occasion. Oh, it's gone through, but Reed wasn't expecting it. First touch wasn't the best.
Yeah, one of those moments when the player on the field does what he thinks is best. You often hear coaches say, play what you see. I think what happened there with Guthrie is that he played the pass that he saw. But because we have a more peripheral vision, there's Alex Marshall, who should be heading over to the Wanderers club in Canada for the Premier League pretty soon. Cavaliers stand out over the years. Not with them anymore. I think what happened with Guthrie just now, the fans could have seen more options that were threatening, but he just took the pass he saw first.
Nice turn Almost got by a second marker. Arnett Gardens with a throw. Last touch coming off front of Ramoy Davis, the substitute. English. Here's Arnett Gardens now in transition. Reed trying to send that one across, but the interception made. And a good one from Irving. That's a nice turn.
Quality passing from Cavalier.
Webster. And now gets the return ball. Basco takes a shot from distance. And Rodriguez gobbles it up.
Yeah, Basco didn't get any power on that effort. The 20-year-old former Bridgeport player would have played with Kyle Ming, or under Kyle Ming's captaincy at Bridgeport in 2017. His 2 goals for Harbourview this season came against UWI and Portmore. Now he's on as a substitute for Cavalier, looking for goals.
Too much on that pass from Davis. What is he thinking? Alex Thomas would have noted the changes made. I think Ramoy Davis is the more solid defender at right back.
Yeah, his introduction into the game is, I think, a recognition from technical director Speed that the Arnett flankmen are looking threatening and he wants to stop them.
Even if he's sacrificing a bit of an attacking push on the right hand side with the more defensive minded Davis there. Let's see how it works out. Here's Davis. This is Ming. Back to Davis. The shot from distance, just over the top, and Rodriguez was panicking there.
Finds himself entangled in the net, Donald. How frantic could you get? But that was a fine strike by English. Yeah, got a good strike onto that one. And the kind of player, as I said earlier on in the broadcast, and there's something about this player, I just don't think we've seen the best of him yet.
It's a landing that gets me, Rodriguez. Wasn't quite sure where the goal was and absolutely panicked. Reed, can he get there? Again, it's always difficult to get around Scamoy Simpson. You have to have real foot speed. Here's Marsh. Kept it in play. Looking for assistance. Gets a throw instead.
Yeah, Webb has been kept busy, hasn't he? Webster has given him a handful in the first half. And now Marsh has just gone over there to put some misery on him.
Davis with a throw. Marsh on it. Back to Davis.
Man. Well done. Well done, that's a good swing, boy.
And the ball went out of play. Throwing once again to Arnett Gardens.
Hey, what's the mark? First set!
Cavalier trying to get something going, trying to force the issue almost. Here's Arnett. Ball over the top. Kemal Malcolm giving chase. Just one to aim for. And that was Reed. And not the best communication there between goalkeeper and defender. It was hacked out of the area at any rate.
Yeah, Irving getting there to get that one away, but Arnett looking threatening on the transition play there just now.
Wilson lost it. Cavalier coming forward. Here's Marsh. There's a couple of players up for support, but needed a more telling pass. Ming winning the header and the second. Basco.
Great tackle from Guthrie.
Yep. Davis. Webster can utilize his space against Steve Clark, trying to get that one across. That's a corner kick to Cavalier FC.
Yeah, great intervention there from Jamar Martin, who spotted the danger and just went in and closed down Webster, who can be so dangerous. Yeah, look how Webster cuts in here past Clark, but Martin just comes in and narrows the angle and blocks the effort, gives up a corner here, but no telling what Webster with his skill would have been able to do if Martin didn't intervene there. Irving has been threatening with his corner so far.
Here's the delivery from Irving. At the back post again, Ming rising high and illegally so. Oldham just getting back up.
There have been a few things about the Arnett Gardens performance so far, Donald, that I think Coach Alex Thomas would be reasonably happy about. First of all, they have not conceded a goal yet. They have not conceded, they have not had a clean sheet in their last 12 matches before today. As we said earlier, back in December, the first week in December, in fact. So they've been clean with their sheet so far. And offensive, they've been looking threatening. They just haven't gotten any goals yet.
Here's Ming. Davis with the challenge. I think that was mostly ball.
Yeah, I think he got ball, so referee Damian Parchment may not have felt any sympathy for him there.
Wilson. Oldham. Malcolm. Wasn't the best to Roberts.
Yeah, untidy.
Here's Cavalier. Atkinson keeps it in play. Simpson has time. Well, he takes no chances. Throw taken quickly to Fabian Reed. Can't beat his marker. That was a foul right in front of the referee. As Reed took down Basco.
Great ball.
Oh, that's a fine ball to Chevron Marsh. Couldn't quite gather it. And good work at the back by Jamar Martin, who bangs it upfield. Nice first touch from Reed. Here they come. Guthrie sends it out wide to Kemal Malcolm. Malcolm looking up for the options. Opting for Wilson. Wilson thinking of going wide and does. Now it's stabbed inside the box, but nobody was making a run there. And White comfortably collecting that one.
Yeah, Guthrie off target with the pass here, but as I spoke earlier on about Arnett getting players forward in numbers, there were 3 players hovering just outside the 18-yard box there, threatening for Arnett. It's just that Guthrie's pass was too far forward of them. But I like that about the Arnett team tonight. We're seeing more of that from Arnett than we are seeing from Cavalier.
Well, here's Ming hoping to make a difference as he sends this one wide to Ronaldo Webster. Webster trying to find the player at the back post. Not the best clearance. Ming, was he tripped up? He's a strong lad, but he was kicked down there. It's a free kick to Cavalier. And, well, this is a dangerous position, and it's central too.
Yeah, Simpson looks interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, just Guthrie just sticking the boot out and knocking Ming over. Yeah, from behind. 4 meters in front of the referee.
We're on the hour mark, and Chevon Marsh has spotted this one. Rodriguez making sure that the wall is set up properly. It's always a tricky situation when it's central. It is Marsh, and Rodriguez had his eyes on it.
Yeah, only Murray of Waterhouse, Dean Andre Thomas of Dunbeholden and Mount Pleasant's Kimar Beckford have scored more goals than Marsh has so far this season.
Yeah, and Kemal Malcolm of Arnett Guns have the same amount of goals as Marsh with 11.
Yeah, so the two teams here advertising a couple of the leading scorers in the league.
Here's Arnett Gardens. Oldham. We've seen a couple of layoffs to the edge of the box. We haven't seen any of them being aimed correctly.
Arnett, if they win tonight, will displace Tivoli as the number 6 team in the league.
And you see the shots on target, 2-1 in favor of Cavalier, and possession is pretty even at the moment. Malcolm picks it up, finds Wilson. Guthrie, Wilson, Roberts. Clark gives chase, does well to keep that one. Still keeps Arnett Guns in it. Webb sends it long, and Reed does well, and then the defender does even better to get a foot on it, as Arnett Guns though win the throw. But Irving doing some work there. Arnett Guns still with it. Cavalier doing some decent defending at the moment. Irving sending that one long. And the pressure being eased after that one.
You have to think, Donald, too, that Cavalier's potency has clearly been hurt by the departure of Hamilton and Alex Marshall, who between them had 21 goals last season.
They'll be thinking about the defense at the moment as this one is whipped inside. It was Webster who headed that one away, but Arnett Guns will come again. This one is sent over the top though.
Yeah, Shane previously played with Waterhouse. Roberts high with the left-footed effort there. This man not easy to beat in the Cavalier goals, so Arnett will have to attack with precision and accuracy if they're to score here tonight.
Basco. Oh, Marsh collects it well. Chevon Marsh sends it top for Ming.
Oh, English.
Oh, English
misses.
rather.
Glorious opportunity there for him. And Cavalier would be heartbroken by that miss. Brilliant work here by Siobhan Marsh. Gets away from two defenders, slides the ball in. And from 8 yards, English was unable to turn this one on target. He had the goalkeeper, Rodriguez, at his mercy.
He made a brilliant run inside the box, did Brian English.
Yeah, a win for Cavalier here tonight, who would displace Arnett Garns in 7th spot. They'll be joint 39 points.
Here's a shot from distance, goes well wide of the mark. Coming in from Romeo Guthrie on that occasion, looking for his third. But here English will be ruining that chance just now. Just 1 goal to his name so far this season, Brian English. Arnett Garns now set to make a change, and Lamar Neal is getting ready to come into the fray.
And Webb has gone off. Michael Webb.
Yeah, already in the referee's book, Michael Webb. I suppose Alex Thomas, the coach, not wanting to take any chance there. The possibility of his team going down by a player. Basco. Again, wonderful turn from Atkinson. Atkinson.
Oh, looked really threatening there, the 17-year-old on that flank play. A real handful, Atkinson, because of his speed. There's a lot of youthful exuberance on his part too, Donald, because sometimes when these young players come up to this level, because of their youth, they just relish the opportunity to take on the big men. And maybe not having to worry about the pressure of expectation as some of the older players would have. A real bright spark here in this Cavalier team.
Arnett, this one sent across the clock, who has some work to do to get that one, and he does, looking for the options now. Roberts, delightful ball inside. Oh, he needed a better touch across, and White collects.
I think Guthrie tried to control the ball there. Certainly an option was to hit it one time at goal.
Or across.
Yeah.
His teammate was waiting there on him. Ming across to Basco. Nice touch. Atkinson turning on the style here as Irving cuts inside and lost it. Momentum gone, it goes the other way. Malcolm trying to beat his marker, and the second forcing the pass, or he was trying to force the pass to Fabian Reed. Not the best clearance there. Oldham. Guthrie. Oldham had briefly stopped his run, and probably in the end that's what cost him to get on the end of that one. Referee says play on. Reed trying to control the bouncing ball, and with Woodbine in the way was difficult. Now the setup to Webster, the keeper though off his line. And here's Arnett. Clark. Lovely ball through to Malcolm. The flag is up for offside against Kemal Malcolm.
Yeah, couldn't contain his run. A player with a lot of speed and a lot of anxiety to go forward. Kemal Malcolm. He just was a bit premature there with a run forward.
Deshaun Bernard coming on, replacing Romeo Guthrie. What can he bring to with the Arnett Gardens team. The game has picked up in the second half, or in the latter stages of this second half, having ended in a blitz, more so in favor of Arnett Gardens at the end of the first.
Both teams have had good opportunities to score tonight. English missing one from 80 yards for Cavalier. And there were a couple of Arnett Gardens efforts as well. The header wide from Fabian Reed.
Here's Clark trying to thread that one through. And more Davis using his strength. Oldham. Lamar Neal trying to play that one off field to a teammate. Oldham. Nice touch inside to Wilson, back to Oldham, back to Wilson. Wilson into the side netting.
Yeah, Arnett again threatening, and there were 3 players in front of goal waiting for a possible cross from Wilson's there. So again, numbers in attack for Arnett Gardens, but they're just not finding the right touches at the right time.
White had that one covered as he moved across to his left. Will need some attention, J.D. White.
Yeah, White a bit hurt there, but that attacking play by this Arnett Gardens team we just saw was another illustration of Arnett Gardens getting numbers in attack, because although Wilson went for the effort from the angle into the side netting, there were options inside for him. So appears to have a sore ankle at the moment, J.D. White.
Well, it could just be a break for the players to catch their breath and to get some refreshments. So it's back up now.
Yeah, here's Wilson. He tries to go for the goal, but there are 3 Arnett Gardens players just in front of goal there, so options to put the ball across for one of his teammates. Slight disappointment on the face of Fabian Reed there that he didn't go for that, but as I said, that's one of the strong points of this Arnett Gardens team tonight. Numbers in attack.
Well, here's Reed trying to get by 2 defenders, unsuccessful. And venturing out of his own defensive third, but couldn't get a good pass going. Challenge coming in on Webster, who was looking for a free kick, didn't come.
He got some ball there, so referee Parchment allowed the play to go on.
Davis. Here he is, Kamoy Davis. Not sure exactly what he was trying to do, but his team is now in trouble because of it. Reed gets by Davis. Reed inside the box, pulls it across! Wow. All Malcolm had to do was just to breathe on it, but he missed it. Here's Arnett Gardens still with the possession. Lamar Neal gets the throw for his team. Ming applying the pressure.
One of the reasons why neither of these teams are currently in a playoff spot, Tom, is because of their inconsistency.
Oldham lost it. Now here's Cavalier. Can they counter? Dwayne Atkinson looking for options now. Delightful ball inside to his captain, who goes down. He's looking for something.
Yeah, I don't think he was knocked over there. And he doesn't look too rebellious on the referee's call either. Let's see what happened here. He trying to drift inside with the ball. Yeah, he comes here now with the ball. He has started to fall before
he was anticipating contact. That's the thing. He was anticipating contact.
Here's the Arnett play that developed earlier on with Fabian Reed right across, and the opportunity there.
Well, back to live action, and it's tapped in. Arnett Gardens go in front, and it is Steve Clark who puts it across the line. Cavalier was under pressure on that bit of play, and Clark was there to pounce on it to get his second this season. And they deserve this lead, Arnett Gardens, they really do.
Yeah, they've worked hard, Arnett Gardens, for this goal tonight. Many close shaves before this moment, and Coach Thomas would be satisfied that Clark, who he gave a start tonight. And here's how the play developed. Simpson trying to protect the ball, wasn't able to do so, stripped of it, and then Reed collects here, just slides the ball across goal, and Clark from 6 yards makes no mistake with the goalkeeper badly out of position. Again, 3 Arnett men in the box there, and the numbers in attack.
For Dada, it says, for Vina English, the dedication by Steve Clark for that goal. And Cavalier, can they respond? Marsh goes down, and it's on the edge of the box that Cavalier get the free kick. Right on the edge.
Wow. Oh, let's see where that contact was. So I thought that may have been in the box. Inside the box.
I think Parchment was right. The contact came just outside. He's right. Spot on, referee Parchment.
Yeah, McGregor was in the box, but maybe Parchment was just out of it. Marsh was just out of it. Still close.
Free kick to Cavalier. Marsh was hoping to change the mind of a referee. Good luck with that happening without VAR.
Still a very close call, because I think McGregor was in the box, probably leaning forward just a bit, so maybe the contact with Marsh was inches outside the box. But I know McGregor was in the box for sure, and he committed the foul. Will it be English or Atkinson?
We've seen Atkinson do this before at the schoolboy football level. What a transition this would be. It is Atkinson! Rodriguez gets a strong hand on it.
An immediate opportunity for Cavalier to wipe off the deficit. Strong effort there, but the anticipation from Rodriguez on point.
Again, he would have seen this in training for Kingston College so many times. Rodriguez facing Atkinson. Here's Cavalier again. Ming. Webster was offside, was he?
That's a assistant referee's call. Just over 10 minutes remaining. And I was mentioning that neither of these two teams have been steady during the season. No significant streaks put on by either of these two teams. Just 2 back-to-back wins throughout the seasons for these two teams. None of these teams have gone 3 wins in a row all season. In late November, Cavalier had back-to-back wins over Vere and Harbour View, and then early December over Mount Pleasant and Waterhouse. Arnett Gardens achieved back-to-back wins twice as well, Harbourview and Cavalier, in mid-November and then late November into early December over UWI and Mount Pleasant. But no 3 wins in a row for either of these teams all season.
Delightful ball, wonderful back heel, delightful stuff from Marsh inside the box. Marsh wide of the mark.
If he loved his right foot as much as he loved his left, he would have had a better chance there of scoring, because he set the ball up for a right-footed effort but wanted to go back to the left, which is by far his more favored. But that was a neat back heel there. Yeah, I thought when he set the ball on the right there was an opportunity for him to strike. Maybe discouraged as well because Arnett defenders were blocking the effort, so he went back to his favored left. And Cavalier responding well after the Arnett goal though, Donald.
Yeah, but Marsh, you've been in this for a long time. You have to try and use your weaker foot, or just keep working on it, because the better opportunity would have been on his right. When he went back outside, it was always going to be more difficult, so much more difficult. And you know, he was a prodigy at the high school level, and in making that transition, although to be honest, really that should be taught at the lower level, using both feet for kicking. Here's Arnett Gardens. Oh, that wasn't the best touch from Malcolm, probably the worst we've seen from him this evening. Usually quite brilliant with his first touch. Steve Clark is coming out. The significant contribution to the match was a tap in from 6 yards.
Yeah, and wristband there for Dada, the nickname over Vino English, shot and killed last week. Well, Arnett are trying to shore up their game because they've brought on a defender for the attacking Steve Clark. And the former Wolmer's captain is now on to protect the Arnett Gardens defensive zone.
Well, Johnny Hines gets bigger every year. Reed tried to get on the end of that one.
So if Arnett aren't scored against tonight, Donald, it will be their first match in 13 games that they've had a clean sheet.
Well, let's see if that holds for the remaining 7 minutes or so.
Well, they brought Joanne Hines on, and he's a defender, and they sacrificed an attacking player for that. So if they aren't able to keep... Oh, brilliant.
Fabulous stuff again from Atkinson. But denied there by Lamar Neal. Cavalier, though, will come again. That's a wonderful ball. Hines comes across and, well, made his presence known and felt. Cross inside the box, and Rodriguez leaves it.
A good judgment. Giovanni Hines had been on the Cavalier books as well while he was at Wolmer's. Walker Cup knockout winning captain for the Maroon and Gold boys. He's probably gained about 27.5 pounds since he left school.
Approximately. Said he was on Cavalier's books. Must have been a big book. Here's Arnett Gardens. Playing around the ball nicely there. Oldham with it now. Wasn't the best pass forward. And, That's clearance with some conviction.
Yeah, Cavalier facing real problems here. They're getting Colin Anderson in. Wow, it seems as if Roy Davis, who came on as a substitute, is about to be replaced himself.
That's exactly what's happening, actually. Colin Anderson coming into the fray. Davis can't believe the change. But I remember saying that him coming on was a more defensive-minded change, and since then they haven't had that thrust on the right-hand side, especially.
There are a few coaches we know in football who are, it's not uncommon to see them do that. Substitutes. Cavalier on the verge of losing valuable ground in their playoff bid.
This one sent inside. Picked up well by Malcolm. Oh, almost went through Fabian Reed. Just confirmed the substitution. Davis off, Colin Anderson on.
This is really a 6-pointer between these two teams, because if the score remains as it is, Arnett will put themselves in a playoff position and Cavalier will be 6 points off a playoff spot.
Oh, here's Marsh trying to go through traffic there. Here's Ming.
Substitutes first touch isn't promising at all, Anderson.
It wasn't really a touch, was it?
No.
If we're going to be talking about the man of the match, Lance Whitaker, we have to talk about the shift that Kemal Malcolm has put in for Arnett Gardens.
Yeah,
would have assisted with the goal. Well, he would have been a part of the run of play for the goal, as the yellow card is shown to Ricardo Oldham.
Yeah, say he definitely would have an assist there, because he worked so hard, fought really hard while even tumbling to squeeze the ball inside for Reed to make the final pass.
So free kick to Cavalier. After Oldham's yellow card, this one sent long. Header away. Arnett Gardens, can they kill this off as a contest? Long ball over the top. Malcolm is there. Can he finish? It's wide of the mark. He was under pressure from Woodbine, and Jaden White also came out.
Yeah,
and he couldn't find the target.
He would have been disappointed he didn't finish that, though, because he got to the ball and got the opportunity to shoot. Woodbine kept putting pressure on him.
Would have definitely sealed the man of the match award if he had done that. Although I think he's still very much in the lead. There's the opportunity again over the top. Woodbine had some difficulty. And, I'm not even sure how the ball ended up there.
Yeah, well, Woodbine's recovery was brilliant.
Yeah.
That became more obvious there on the replay. He really recovered quickly and decisively. Woodbine didn't allow Malcolm with a clear shot on goal. Although if Malcolm was a little bit speedier with his effort, he may have gotten a proper shot off.
Lovely ball from Wilson. And corner kick to Arnett Gardens.
Yeah, man of the match, really hard task tonight, Donald. That's for sure. Because Clark scored, yes, but he hasn't really played that well. Reed was the player with the assist, but he missed a goal and hasn't really shone either. Malcolm has been okay. He assisted in the passage of play that resulted in the goal.
O'Shane Roberts also had a very good game. He has.
It would be hard to give a Cavalier man, wouldn't it?
Very. 3 minutes of stoppages to be played. Arnett Gardens with the corner kick. O'Shane Roberts is across there. He has delivered some fine ones. And that wasn't so fine. But Reed is off to retrieve and gets the throw for his team. Just a matter of managing the game, Arnett Gardens. Yeah, somebody's going to get a yellow card for time wasting. And Deshaun Bernard goes into the referee's book. Throw into Cavalier.
It's really the spirit of the Arnett Gardens performance tonight that has led them to this victory. They have been determined all night and looked the more positive team from the first half straight through to the end.
Ronaldo Webster was harassed all the time.
Well done, Hines. Yeah, Hines did well there. Doesn't have a lot of playing time, Joanna Hines, for this Arnett team this year. But you know from his schoolboy days how solid and how good a reader of the game he is at central defense.
Woodbine, more assertive on this occasion. Last chance saloon for Cavalier FC. Atkinson did well. There's a challenge on English once more. Free kick to Cavalier. They want to move quickly, but they'll probably have to take their time about this. This delivery has to be right. They are sending bodies forward, Cavalier FC.
Yeah, now we're seeing players in numbers forward for Cavalier, which we didn't really see much of earlier on in the game.
Here's the delivery. Not the best. As far as possible. I think there's probably 30 seconds left in this one.
Or less.
Ming gets there. Hines comes across to clip him. Hines will go into the referee's book. And what's coming up surely is the final play of the game.
Yeah, so we think Cavaliers' last chance to salvage a point from this game.
And even Jadine White is going in to the penalty area. Anything for a point at this point.
They've been moderate at home, Cavalier, this season. Only 5 wins in 13 matches here at the Stadium East Field before tonight.
Well, he has to get it by the wall. The delivery has to be almost perfect. Can they get the equalizer, Cavalier? There's the delivery inside. Rodriguez punches it out. They need to get it back inside the box. They don't have enough time. Arnett Gardens with a critical away win at the Stadium East Field over Cavalier, courtesy of that man's strike, Steve Clark, who did enough from 6 yards, tapping that one home. And Arnett Gardens, led by some very good plays from their attackers, especially Kamal Malcolm. They were able to get over the line in the end. Disappointment for Cavalier, and their technical director, Rudolph Speed. But in the battle for that 6th and final playoff spot, it gets tougher for the home team, who have lost here today to Arnett Gardens by 1-0.
Mr. One bag of gold medal pan me now. Red stripe alone champion boy go. Pan a podium a sing the anthem to. Red stripe, watch out, watch out, watch out. Man, shall I let it forward boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy score. Every goal when I run from boy. Red stripe Premier League champion boy now. Back down we run marathon boy. The Red stripe Premier League champion boy. Yeah, yo.
So 1-0 in favour of Arnett Gardens over Cavalier at the Stadium East Field, courtesy of a tap-in from Steve Clark in the 76th minute of play. And I thought we saw a better match in the first half, Lance.
Yeah, very positive outing here for Arnett, especially, although it was Cavalier that had the best look at goal early, with Simpson arriving late there.
And then Arnett Gardens came into their own a little bit more to the end of that first half. Clark trying to set up Fabian Reed, but it was cleared by Woodbine in the end. And then this from Ronaldo Webster. Wonderful moment of quality. Just wasn't on target. Then a free header. Fabian Reed heading that one wide. Jadine White was rooted to the spot.
Yeah, couldn't have done anything about that.
Then lovely football by Arnett. White sticking out a leg, denying Kemal Malcolm there. Then the second half wasn't as eventful as the first. That was a speculative attempt from English over the top, and Rodriguez was in some contortions with the net. And then big chance for English. Over the crossbar.
Yeah, huge disappointment there for English. Excellent work by Siobhan Marsh's captain to squeeze the ball into him.
And here's the goal. I'm not sure what Kamoy Simpson was thinking there, but Malcolm working overtime. Reed just setting it on a platter. And Steve Clark could do no wrong. He really couldn't, actually.
Yeah, and that was the play that probably tilted it for Kemal Malcolm to be the man of the match. Look at the work that he did to fight the big, strong Kamoy Wilson off the ball.
Then the free kick fired
Kamoy
away
Simpson
by Rodriguez. It was Dwayne Atkinson who let fly on that occasion. And Rodriguez coming up trumps for Arnett Gardens. So Cavalier with 9 shots, 3 on target. Arnett Gardens with 7 shots, just the 1 on target was the goal. They were the more physical team, 17 as opposed to 7 by Cavalier. And the 5 yellow cards were shown to Arnett Gardens players as well. 5 corners in favour of Cavalier as opposed to 2 from Arnett Gardens, who had the majority of the possession in the end at 52%.
So I am with the man of the match for tonight's encounter. He worked so hard to provide the assist. Kemal Malcolm, congratulations. Now, for someone with such a small frame, where did you find that energy and that drive to get that ball to pass it through to Steve?
Well, it's a long season. I've been training from August, so I'm very fit. So I just tell myself that I'm going to put out the extra the effort. We need this victory, so I just run as hard as I could.
Quickly, what does this victory mean to you?
Well, this victory means everything for the team. As you know, we are very down right now because of what happened. And in the table, we are 7th in the table, and this victory takes us now to 6th. So we need to stay consistent and try to remain in the top 6 for the remainder of the season.
All right, well done. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Our MVP today, Kemal Malcolm. Joining me now is Rudolph Speed, Technical Director at Cavalier FC. Rudolph, sum up tonight's game for us.
Well, after they scored 3 goals against us in the first half, in the last encounter, we decided to weather that storm. We did that well in the first half. Then, I mean, we got some opportunities. We didn't score them. And a bit of defensive lapse from our part, and they scored against us.
Now, where do you go from here?
Oh, it's going to be difficult from here. It's a big uphill task, but we're not giving up because anything can happen, and we have 5 games to go.
All right. Were there any players that you were particularly impressed with tonight that you can say, come next game, these guys will definitely bring something more to the table for us?
Definitely. I'm impressed with most of the players, the youngsters. I think they brought it to the game. Just a little bit unfortunate. Webster went close a couple of times. Chevron Marsh was dangerous, and also Dwayne Atkinson. So it's just a little more fine-tuning. But maybe this year is not our year. So maybe it's next year that they'll come to fruition.
It sounds as if you're almost giving up.
No, I'm not, but I mean, we have to be realistic. With losing 9 of your starting players, it's going to be difficult to get there the next year.
Thank you, Rudolph.
You're welcome.
Rudolph Speed, their technical director at Cavalier FC. Now we are unable to get Alex Thomas of Arnett Gardens FCs, but let's take a look at the table and how this result has changed things. As you can see, Arnett Gardens, they have gotten their foot into the top 6, the crucial playoff spot, and as you heard, they are hoping to stay there. Kemal Malcolm, that's his hope. That's what they came out here tonight for, and that is what they received. So they have 41 points now, 6th in the table. Congratulations to Arnett Gardens, who defeated Cavalier FC a 0-0 here tonight. So on behalf of Donald, Lance, and the entire hardworking production team, my name is Shawana Ebanks. Stick and stay right here on the Home of Champions. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this evening. Remember, we have Sunday football coming up for you in Red Stripe Premier League action. And of course, we also have Monday night football. So lots more coming up on the Home of Champions. Thanks for hanging out with us. Have a good night.